Welcome back. All right, news of the day video for all you fine people for your Wednesday, July 27th. Ryan Donato has signed a 1-year, $1.2 million extension with the Seattle Kraken. It definitely helps out Seattle's depth all the more. He had 16 goals last year for them, played pretty well at points, and we'll see where he stands on the depth chart this season. One thing this does do is it means that if, let's just say, Shane Wright doesn't have a great camp and they end up needing to send him back to junior or figuring out what to do with him, you have extra forwards that covers for that. I always think it's good to have the extra forwards so that your rookies don't have to get in the lineup. They're not being handed spots, and then you're not panicking come training camp if they're not quite ready. So bringing in Donato's good. I also wonder if they do have extra forwards, if Ron Francis tries to parlay that into a defenseman. Use maybe a forward or two, trades out and tries to bring in a defenseman. We shall see. Hockey Canada's been in all the news, of course, over the last 3 days with their continuing responses to the inquiry by the House of Commons. And it's not great. The leadership is not great. And I don't know how else to put it. When investigations just stop and nobody knows where anything goes. And then the guys who are at the top are basically saying, well, it's not really our fault. And when asked, do you think that there's a problem in management? They're like, no, I don't think there is. Well, of course you don't. So it definitely looks like Hockey Canada needs to kind of be torn down and rebuilt. So at least you have, I don't know, some semblance of a working organization. This has nothing to do with what did or didn't happen and what investigations weren't followed up on. It's more of a, they just don't seem to have any kind of structure. Either they don't or they're just flat out lying. And I don't know which one it is, but Sheldon Kennedy's come out and said they should all go. And I'm not going to disagree with him. That this is a situation where, you know, if they're going to straighten this up, it really, the guys who got him into this mess probably aren't the ones that should be driving the bus while they're trying to get out of the mess. OHL President David Branch has said that hazing's a thing of the past in the OHL. Then he brings up an incident they had to talk about from this past season. Now, this may just be semantics. Maybe he means it's a thing of the past as in nobody's playing hockey right now, so it's nothing to worry about right now. But either way, hazing has been talked about, various incidents, and this really is something that now junior hockey's going through. There's definitely been some talk about National Hockey League level players as well, and we'll see how this all shakes down. But hazing being out of the game is I think a good thing, and let's hope that is actually a thing of the past. And David Branch is accurate on that. I have my doubts, but we shall see. So this is kind of a fun one. I wanted to have something fun on the board, so thankfully the Dallas Stars and the Columbus Blue Jackets have provided me that. This is more for the viewers on the American side of the border, which, by all accounts, what I see on YouTube tells me it's about half of my traffic. The mascots, so Victory Green and Stinger, are battling to see who can get the most rubber ducks sent to them by this Friday. So I'm wearing Dallas because, of course, I'm going to throw in with Victory Green. I still don't know what he is. It's a weird looking mascot, but anyways, I would definitely be sending ducks to him, but you have 2 days, and there's no way that from here in Canada it's going to get there in 2 days. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. And what do you do with a bunch of, like, what do they do with them? Do they have like a theme night then for the Dallas Stars and for Columbus? Because obviously both of them are going to get a bunch. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. But again, I just wanted to have something fun on the board, and that was there. Mike Greer was asked about David Quinn and his problems with playing young players when he was with the Rangers. And I remember this criticism of Quinn. Greer says there's nothing to it. And if you look, Adam Fox had an excellent rookie season with Quinn behind the bench. It is a very common criticism of coaches that you're not playing the kids enough. But again, if kids are playing further up the lineup than what they're ready for, you're going to see more mistakes. You're going to get more losses. And for coaches, their job is to win. So their job is to put together a roster that is able to win as many games as possible, as often as possible. And they're not going to have the same faith in the kids. And some kids need to be brought along slowly. Lafreniere's been brought along slowly. I think he's done well, though. And I think he's up for a big season next year. So, yeah, we'll see what happens in San Jose. If they're really not looking at any kind of a rebuild, it may not be a big deal. He may end up with a really veteran lineup anyways. So, in the wake of Jake Virtanen being acquitted yesterday, being found not guilty, immediately there was an outpouring of, so he's got to come back then. It was wrong. They shouldn't have got rid of him. I think people are forgetting Virtanen's very poor showing for the Vancouver Canucks. Now, the regular season in 2019-2020 before the pause, 69 games, 18 goals, 18 assists, 36 points. He had some good spots, some bad spots there too, but then in the playoffs, I could not defend his play. I remember as the playoffs were going, I was like, well, maybe if he can, and by the end of that run, in 16 games, he had 2 goals, 1 assist, 3 points. And it was tough. It was a tough watch. He was not good. And then he followed it up in 2020, 2021 by getting 5 goals, 0 assists in 38 games. I really think that regardless of the charges and the trial, I still think Vancouver wanted to part ways with him. I think that was probably convenient at the time, but I do think they wanted to part ways with Virtanen. It was not working. Now, whether or not he gets another job in the NHL, that is quite possible that somebody will sign him, probably for league minimum, see what happens. But based on his last, 54 games as a Canuck, where he recorded 8 points, it's not going to be in Vancouver. It's not going to happen in Vancouver. So, again, I know there's people saying, he should come back. He's 25, so odds are somebody may give him a contract. But yeah, his run in Vancouver was an absolute, total, unmitigated disaster in 2020, 2021. John Klingberg raising some eyebrows today, former Dallas Star, may still be a Dallas Star later. There were rumors that there was a 7-year deal for around $6 million that he might be able to sign when free agency opened up. He hasn't signed anything yet. He's still a free agent, and showing how well things are going or not going, he has changed agents. He has now changed over. He's now with Newport Sports Management. So he has parted ways with his agent. He's gone to another agency, and this tells you things aren't going the way Klingberg wanted them to. I know he wanted an 8-year deal from Dallas, and Dallas was really kind of hands off with that. They really did not want to give him an 8-year deal. Obviously, if he signs somewhere else, it's 7 years max. But I don't know how many teams are going to be lining up to give him 7-year deals. I do think there are some fans who might overrate him a bit, but I think GMs doing their due diligence would realize value and probably wouldn't want to throw necessarily a 7-year deal there. But we'll see what happens. Stranger things have happened. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.